Hey everybody, this is Susan, your neighborhood tailor at Alterations next door. Now, I'm coming on today, working on a dress, actually doing a hem on it. And while I do this hem, let's talk about getting ready or starting to get ready for your Mardi Gras events. Now, let me get here so you can see my face a little bit better. And it's probably too close. How about that? So let's talk about getting ready for Mardi Gras events. Now, I know that many of you are going to wait till the last minute to get your dresses or your suits for Mardi Gras because you probably got some decision making to do and you want to see what everybody else is going to get to. I get that. But please consider what you'll have to do on the back end. That means coming to a tailor, getting your alterations done. So make sure you have enough window in which to do that. So right now we are looking at 42 days before Mardi Gras. Before the first parade, which is the 14th of February. So right now you have plenty of time to have selected your dress or pulled out the item that you may want to consider to wear and get the items altered and back plenty of time from now. But many of you are going to wait till very, very close to your event dates. Very close to your event dates, and that is a big mistake. And let me tell you why. Because most tailors are going to already be busy. Let me just tell you, this is not just Mardi Gras season for us. We're also doing weddings, general alterations, all types of other alterations mixed in with Mardi Gras alterations, because we would not be in business if we weren't trying to have business throughout the year, right? So we're always trying to be booked and busy. So Mardi Gras is no exception. Mardi Gras season is no exception. So Mardi Gras season adds a buffer or at least an additional amount of work to our already busy workload. So keep that in mind. You know, my first tip for you is to have a backup tailor. You need to have your tailor and then your backup tailor, or maybe 2 or 3. Now, I'm in the city of Mobile, Alabama. In case you don't know, Alterations Next Door is located in Mobile, Alabama. But if you were here in my city, there's few of us around, but they're kind of hard to find from what I'm told. I try not to be hard to find. But for many of you, you find it difficult to find a tailor. So I ask that you find at least 2. Now, having a tailor is sort of a situation where you really got to vibe with the person. You really have to get along with your tailor. So it takes time to even establish that initial relationship. And you do not want to do that when it comes to something that's high pressure. Like you need it right away. We need somebody that you're going to be confident that, okay, I can leave this with this person. And I know my item's going to be back or whatever. So I suggest you go ahead and be shopping around for your tailors, your backup tailor right now, so you can be talking to them and see what their timeline might be, because you know it is unpredictable. But ask them what their timeline might be for during the Mardi Gras season, because they probably have some history from seasons before, and they may have an established method for you to get things out quicker that they can advise you about. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do too here today. So what do you need to do to prepare for Mardi Gras? Now, when you get that backup tailor, they need to be able to do the same type or comparable work that your regular tailor does. So you want somebody who, if you have an experienced tailor and you tend to need more involved alterations done, you may want to have a comparable tailor as the backup. You need someone that really can handle that. They can handle your personality. They can handle the types of clothes you like to bring in, which may be high end. It may be expensive clothing that you don't want anybody to mess up, right? So be mindful of that when choosing that backup tailor. But anyway, let's move on to what you need to do. So when you are selecting your items, now it's hopeful for me, for many of my clients, and in videos coming up, I will be talking about this if I can remember to do that. Is to talk about how important it is for you to have your measurements taken, especially in this season, because we're coming off the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're coming off the holidays, so we don't necessarily wear the same size after we've had a nice, I would say, festive holiday with a lot of eating, a lot of drinking, and whatever. So your waistline may be a little bit different than it was prior to Thanksgiving. So make sure you get your measurements taken before you order your items for your events coming up, so that you'll know that you're in the right size, or at least your size remain the same or not. Okay? So make sure you do that. So the second thing is, when you're shopping for your pieces, okay, be mindful of when they're going to come in. Make sure you have enough runway. Like, if the item takes 2 weeks to get in and your event date is maybe 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out, that doesn't leave a lot of room for you to get it into alterations if you know you're going to need alterations. Like I said, if you're a short person, or if you're a person that has fit issues, meaning that your clothes always has something that needs to be tweaked, then you don't have enough time to get your items altered if you don't allow enough time after you received it in which to do so. So you need to have shorter delivery times, and you need to be mindful of that, at least when you're ordering things online, that you have enough time to get it, and you have enough time after that, which is at least 2 to 3 weeks after that, to get them altered. Okay, that's my suggestion. It can be different for other tailors, but for me, at least allow 2 to 3 weeks to get things back, okay, during the season. All right, so so that's what you'll do when you're ordering stuff. And so, but like I said, when I advise you about taking the measurements, make sure you compare those measurements to the measurement charts on these websites. I don't care which ones you go to, because you can go to various ones. Make sure you compare your measurements to each and every one of them, and get the measurements that are best suited for you. Don't worry about the size. Don't worry about whether it's small, medium, large, or it has a numerical value. You look at those measurements. That's the dimensions that your body is: your bust measurement, your waist measurement, your hip measurement, the measurement from this part of the neck, which is the hollow of the neck, to the floor for you ladies who mind gowns. For men, you can consider the inseam from your crotch area to the floor. Make sure that can be adjusted anyway. Men typically don't have as much issues as women, but women, you need to have those numerical numbers on log when you're shopping, so that you'll at least buy a close enough size to your size, even though you have to have alterations. And it could help with the alterations being a little bit cheaper or a little bit more affordable if there's less to do to the garment. Okay, if you bring in something that's way out of your size range or way below your size range, and it involves a lot of altering or tweaking that needs to be done, it can be quite expensive, and I'm sure nobody wants that. So I always advise my clients to make sure you take your measurements and compare those measurements to that on the website. Okay, the next thing I would say is when scheduling your appointments. Now, I am a service that is by appointment only, so there's no dropping off stuff. There's no popping in on me. At least I try not to encourage that. But some of my newer clients, they don't know yet. But my older ones, they know that it is by appointment only, because I'm a small operation here, and I need to know when you're coming, and because I don't want to have back-to-back clients on top of each other. Like, I hate to have people waiting. So consider, when you're doing a backup tailor or your original tailor, you need to know what their dynamic is. Some tailors have a group of people who do the work for them, meaning that they can turn around things pretty quickly, which is really advisable in my opinion. But they also get backed up. So know which one works for you best. Okay, you know if you're going to be patient enough to wait for your item, or you're going to need to have something rushed all the time. So go with somebody that has a bunch of people working for them, and a larger company, I would say, would have a bunch of people working for them where they can turn it around in a few days or a day. But that doesn't mean that someone like me can't. It just depends on my workload, right? But like I said, you can decide what you are looking for. So excuse me. So when you're booking your appointments for your tailors, if you don't have to book an appointment, some more take walk-ins, which is great, but still consider the time frame in which you need to have your items back, because that is always something that the tailor is probably going to ask you or let you know when they could get it back to you, and you can find out whether or not that's going to work for you. Now you can always call and see what the availability is when it comes to reaching out to tailors. Call and see what the availability is, and see whether or not they'll be able to assist you in the time frame that you need them to, right? So always do that, and ask questions about the different types of alterations. Ask questions about like the type of gowns. Like this one is an accordion pleat hem. It is a little bit more pricey to hem than the others, just a straight hem with no nothing going on here, only because of the time it takes for me to cut and hem that dress. Make sure you have a good description, or send a picture of the item you want to have altered if you want to get a quote. Now, when it comes to quotes, it just depends. Some things I don't quote over the phone. I don't quote in-depth alterations over the phone. I will give you maybe a starting range, and it can go up from there at best. Otherwise, I do prefer that you come into my shop so I can look at the item, and I may do that for free sometimes if there's a consultation fee for that, which goes towards your purchase. It just depends on how involved it is. So all of that still has to be part of what you consider when it comes to how much time you have to get your items back and how much time you need to get your items back. So when you're calling and asking questions, when you're trying to figure out what it's going to cost you to get your garment altered and all of that stuff, and the time frame in which you can get back, keep all of that in mind when you're doing your shopping and your looking and your fitting and all of that this season. Now, I'm going to come back with more videos like this. I'll probably stick to one specific subject on the next video, but I just wanted to start this one off today, and just to get you guys a heads up on what's going on for Mardi Gras season, and to let you know what things you can do to make it a little bit easier for yourself. Okay. All right. My name is Susan, and I'm your neighborhood tailor at Alterations next door. And thank you for joining me today. Okay. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.